Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be my most anticipated reads for the month of May, and this is going to be an ongoing series on my channel titled Most Anticipated. Yes, it's the most ingenious title ever. Let's go. So there are two books coming out May 5th. The first is The Guest List by Lucy Foley, the author of The Hunting Party, which I have not read. It really doesn't seem my speed, to be quite honest with you guys. It reminds me of a book that I had to read in high school, or a play we went to see called The Most Dangerous Game or something like that, where they were like hunting people. And I just kind of stayed away from it because of that reason. But this one sounds exactly like something that I would want to read. So we are on a remote island off the Irish coast where there is a wedding going on, and all of the guests have something to hide, but one of them is a murderer. What more can I say? Sounds fantastic. And then the second book coming out May 5th is Meet Cute Club by Jack Harmon. So this follows the story of Jordan Collins, who works at this bookstore, and he also kind of runs this romance book club called the Meet Cute Club, hence the title. Clever, right? All these clever titles running around in this video. But sadly, the book club is slowly dying, so one of the employees named Rex volunteers to step in and help him save the club. Now, Rex and Jordan don't have the best relationship, but I think some sparks are gonna fly in this one, so fingers crossed that I'm going to enjoy it. I have heard really good things about it already. Coming out May 11th, we have the first book in a new series by L.J. Shen called The Hunter. This is book one in the Boston Bells series, I believe. So Hunter is like the wild party boy, and he stars in a sex tape, which is the final straw for his dad, who basically sentences him to 6 months of celibacy and getting his act together. And I think he has to move in with our heroine Sailor, who is just like on the straight and narrow, kind of like the nerdy type girl. So it's all about that dynamic and what goes on there. I am kind of looking for a little bit of Vicious vibes. However, I did read Vicious in April, and guys, don't hate me, but I think I was just overhyped for that book, because I think I gave it 4 stars or 3.5 stars, but I wanted to like it much more than I did. I went on to read Ruckus right after that, which is the second book after Vicious, and I rated it around the same. There were different things that I liked about each book and different things that I didn't like about each book, but I'm hoping that this one is much better and kind of excels where those 2 books kind of let me down. So moving on to May 15th, we have What Lies Between Us by John Mars. So this is John's 3rd book, and I am predicting that I'm going to like it much more than his first 2, The One and Passengers. Between those 2, I think I rated Passengers just a little bit higher, but honestly, I feel that his stories sometimes get lost in all of the different perspectives that he's got going on, and this one seems like it's only going to follow 2 characters, Maggie and Nina, but we shall see. I have elevated hopes. Not high, but elevated. Because if I don't like this one, I think I'm just gonna have to set it to the side and realize that John Mars is not my favorite thriller author, and that's okay. I mean, he does write entertaining stories, but they just drag out, and there are just so many different characters that I really can't care about the people that I want to care about, if that makes sense. So this one, like I said, follows Maggie and Nina, and they live in the same house, and something has happened between the 2 of them. So every night they have dinner together, and then Nina takes Maggie back upstairs to the attic, where she locks her in chains and keeps her. But Maggie knows more secrets that she is not going to let out. Okay, let's go. Tucker agreed. Sorry. We're all about hidden secrets. We're all about finding stuff out. If it's just dual perspective, we're all about that too. I am not ready for summer in the South. It is barely into May, and I already feel like I'm about to combust into it. Just a heat puddle. Moving on to May 19th, we have 3 books that I am anticipating coming out. The first one I feel like is on a lot of people's list, and that is A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is the anticipated or highly anticipated prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy. And if you know anything about me, I am not a huge, massive fan of prequels. I like to go forward with the story rather than backwards, but I figured why not? Let's add it to the list. Come on. So this is 10 years into the Hunger Games, I believe, and it follows Cornelius Snow, who is a mentor for the Hunger Games, and his tribute, who is a girl from District 12. Did you guys get any of that from the Hunger Games trilogy? Because I totally didn't see that he was a mentor, but I also haven't read them in years, so a reread might be in order very soon. So the second book coming out May 19th is Beach Read by Emily Henry. We're following the story of Augustus and January. And Augustus is a literary fiction writer and January writes romance novels, but they're both kind of at this writer's block. And I think they are in neighboring beach houses for a few months and they decide to swap. So they're going to draw inspiration from each other and work on each other's novels. It sounds fantastic and it is already getting a ton of hype and love, so can't wait to pick this one up. And then finally on May 19th we have A Taste of Sage by Yafa S. Santos. Probably butchering that, but this book, you guys, it just speaks to the foodie in me. So we're following the story of Lumi Santana, who is a chef that has decided to open her very own restaurant, but she also has the ability to taste people's emotions through their cooking. So her restaurant goes south and she is forced to take a position as a sous chef, and I believe her head chef is a man named Julian Dax, who is kind of arrogant, a little bit of an asshole, you know, typical, whatever. But there is some kind of conflict between the two of them, and she promises that she's never going to taste his cooking until one day she does, and it leads her to shocking revelations, and they become closer and closer while Julian's secretary is kind of watching from the distance and wanting to stop this at all costs. So could be a little bit of a mystery. It seems like a little light contemporary romance, but with mystery thrown in. We shall see. And then finally on May 26th, there are two separate books that I'm really excited about. The first is called The Jane Austen Society by Natalie Jenner. This is hyped as being similar to the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, which I freaking love, you guys. It is set during World War II, as is this book, and it's perfect. There is a small English town in here, and it also says that an unusual but like-minded group of people band together to attempt something remarkable. So I might have to reread Guernsey and then get myself hyped up for this one. We shall see. And then finally is Two Truths and a Lie by Meg Mitchell Moore. So this one was compared to Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty, and I figured that with some of my anticipated books of this month, I might need to end the month on something a little bit lighter and still has that mystery element, but you know, doesn't take itself super seriously. This seems like the perfect book for that. The description on Goodreads, I kind of want to keep it vague because I want to know as little as possible going into this one. That is exactly how I went into Big Little Lies, and I ended up really enjoying it. I thought it was just a touch long, just a touch long. But Leanne always, you know, gets a little carried away in her books. Always good, but, you know, a little carried away. So hopefully this one might be a little more condensed. So those are my most anticipated books for the month of May. Some of them I have holds on Overdrive already. I am ordering at least 2, possibly 3 to be here on their release date. So let me know what you guys think those books are down in the comments below. I'm thinking I'm going to be doing 3, to be completely honest with you guys. I know for sure it's going to be 2. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to become part of the tribe if you have not already. I will see you in my next bookish video. Bye.